Hello and welcome to Lynchburg Live. This is the 5th anniversary of our doing Lynchburg Live, so we're glad you can be with us tonight. I'm your host, Linda Smith. Earlier this year, I learned that the Lynchburg area has a squadron of the Civil Air Patrol. My guests tonight are 2nd Lieutenant Chris Chaffee, Squadron Public Affairs Officer, and Captain Daniel Mays, Squadron Commander of the local CAP. And they will be telling us about the Lynchburg Squadron. Chris, Daniel, welcome to Lynchburg Live.
Welcome, and Linda, on behalf of the Lynchburg Squadron and Captain Mays, we're very grateful for this opportunity to do your show and get the good word out about Civil Air Patrol.
Thank you. All right, just to start off, for those people who aren't familiar with the Civil Air Patrol, either one of you can answer, both of you can answer these questions. Could you please just tell our audience what it is?
Sure. The Civil Air Patrol is an official auxiliary of the United States Air Force. We're also a 501c3 non-for-profit. Little information, we're headquartered out of Maxwell Air Force Base, Alabama. We have a board of governors. It has 11 members. 4 are appointed by the Air Force, 4 by the Civil Air Patrol, and 3 are members of government or industry or the aerospace education. We were founded in December 1941.
Oh, it's been going on a while.
Yeah, yes, it has. Approximately 1 week prior to the Japanese bombing of Pearl Harbor. And it was created by about 150,000 U.S. citizens who were just interested in patrolling the coast. 5 years after that, they became a 501c3 non-for-profit, and a couple years after that, they were designated as the official auxiliary of the Air Force.
That's wonderful. All right, now, as an affiliate of the Air Force, in what way?
We're just the civilian auxiliary of the United States Air Force. We help them out in different areas like search and rescue, things of that nature.
Oh, that's great. Now, I understand that the CAP, I'm going to do that, let's call it CAP
That's
rather
fine.
than say Civil Air
Sure.
Patrol every time, but I understand that you have a plane ready for takeoff at any moment if need arises in an area to help locate lost individuals, lost planes. You want to tell us about that?
Sure.
Sure, we have the Civil Air Patrol, or CAP as we actually call it. It has a fleet of 550 either Cessna 172 or 182 aircraft. We are on call, as you say. The way that happens is we receive a notification from the wing, and what the wing is, we have 52 wings in CAP. There's one for each state, plus one for Puerto Rico and one for the District of Columbia. We then call all the members, notify all the members of the Lynchburg Squadron to see if they're available to go be involved with the mission. And if we are, then we report that back up to wing, and if they need us, we're happy to serve.
So the plane is here. I mean, there's a plane available in the Lynchburg area.
Yeah, we usually keep a plane here in Lynchburg, and what happens is the wing has about 10 to 15 aircraft that they can call upon at any time. So we station those planes wherever we have the most mission pilots. So right now in the Lynchburg area, we have about 2 mission pilots and about 5 pilots total. And so what our goal is this year is to reach 5 mission pilots so that we can keep one here all the time.
That's right. And they are members of the CAP squadron that's here.
That's right.
That's really cool.
Right. But we have planes all over the state that we can call upon at any time to serve our needs for missions.
Do you get called out very often?
I would say on the average we get called about at least 2 to 3 times a month on various things.
That's a lot.
Our searches can be as simple as an emergency locator transmitter went off in an airport or on an accident, and we'll get called to go search for that. So we get about 2 to 3 a month, roughly.
I mean, I would not have guessed that it would be that many calls that you get, but it has an element of excitement, to those of us who were just listening to it.
Very much so.
In fact, our most recent call was last week for the downed hot air balloon.
Oh, really?
And we had a few members that were ready to go, but unfortunately they didn't need us to come from Lynchburg.
Right.
So.
That was a tragedy, really, it was.
Absolutely.
All right, in researching this show, I found out that CAP has three congressionally mandated missions. Could you tell us what they are?
Sure. Emergency services and disaster recovery is one. The United States Air Force is in charge of all inland search and rescue in the United States. The Civil Air Patrol conducts about 90% of the searches for downed or missing aircraft. So we do search and rescue for downed or missing aircraft as well as people. We've branched out quite a bit over the last couple of years, searching for missing elderly. We do a lot of missing hiker searches and things of that nature. So search and rescue, disaster recovery. We do a lot of photo missions to check out damaged areas after storms. For example, the storms that came through last year in New York. We did a lot of photography for that. Katrina, things of that nature. We also have cadet programs. We have about 25,000 members nationwide and 800 in Virginia alone that are cadets. Basically what we do is we teach leadership, aerospace education, physical fitness, and character development. And all of that, all the leadership that they're learning is through the structure of the United States Air Force. And also about 10% of the cadets at the Air Force Academy are made up of cadet members or former members.
Oh, are they really?
So they do go on for careers, for college opportunities, lots of college scholarships and things of that nature available through CAP. And then the lastly was the aerospace education. We provide adult and cadet training. We support worldwide educational conferences. We develop, publish, and distribute national academic standards based on aerospace education criteria. And then we also provide free education to the public in any way that we can for aerospace.
That's wonderful. You know, I had no idea that this group was so far-reaching and had so many tentacles, really, that and branched out in so many different areas. Right. All right, now I noticed that the Lynchburg Capt squadron is called a composite squadron. What does that mean?
Quite simply, that composite squadron means the squadron is comprised of both adults, and we're called senior members, and cadets. Cadets are beginning at the ages of 12 and graduate the program at 18 years old.
How many cadets do you have here in this group?
We have about 50 cadets in our squadron right now. We maintain about 70 members, so 50 cadets and about 20-some seniors.
I think that's wonderful.
It is.
As a matter of fact, I had an opportunity to meet your cadets because we included them. Our club has a space camp scholarship, and we wanted to widen our scope, so we came and invited your cadets to be a part of this contest. Unfortunately, they didn't win, but one of them came very close. But we were glad to do that, and very pleased to meet these very well-behaved kids.
Good.
You know, when we walked in, they said yes, ma'am, and yes, sir, and you didn't see them looking like you see kids looking at the mall a lot. So it was a pleasure to meet them.
Well, we're very proud of our cadets.
Very proud. And typically that's one of the things adults who come to visit that they key in on is the cadets they're nicely dressed, their uniforms are clean and squared away, they have regulation haircuts, they're physically fit, and they're very polite.
Yeah, they were extremely polite. I was very impressed. Since we're talking about cadets, do you have both male and female cadets, or?
Yes, we do. The Civil Air Patrol is being government based. We're non-discriminating, so we do have a good mix of female to male ratio.
That's great.
In our squadron, we're running a little light on females at this time, but before this point in time, we had about 50-50 on male and female.
Did you really?
So it was really good. And they both excel very well in the program. It's just, it's leadership driven, and if they're driven, they can do very well in CAP.
Do the women or the girls go on to military careers sometimes,
Yeah,
as well as the boys?
Yes, very much so.
Some of them do.
Yeah.
All right, now, each of you, what is your position, Chris, with this squadron?
I am the Public Affairs Officer, which means that officially I'm the spokesperson for the squadron. but I'm also involved with media releases and writing some articles myself for the local newspaper and the Capt national magazine. Volunteer.
And you have a son. Do you both have?
Mm-hmm.
Both of you have sons
Yeah,
who
we do.
are involved in this.
My son is 12. His name is Matthew, and he really enjoys being a member of the Civil Air Patrol.
That's great. And
Yeah.
your son is Charles.
Yes, actually, I have two sons that have been in the program. My oldest son was the reason why I got started. At this point in time, I'm the commander of the squadron. I have been for the last 3 years. I've been a member for 4 years. And my main job is to make sure that the squadron runs smoothly and accurately and according to the regulations. But I actually got involved because of my oldest son. He was interested in joining the Air Force, and so we heard about this program called CAP, and so when we checked it out, we got very interested, and now I have my youngest son involved as well.
That's
yeah.
great. Now, getting back to a little bit of the cadet-specific aspects of this, what do your cadets do? What kind of training do you give them?
Okay. At the squadron level, we have weekly meetings where we conduct classes, and it is all cadet-led. So the cadets plan the education, they plan the meeting for the cadet side of it. But they'll do things like search and rescue training, aerospace education in the classroom and hands-on. They'll do drug demand reduction. We want to teach a drug-free lifestyle, and so we have a program set up for that. We'll do character development and things of that nature. So that's kind of what we do on a regular basis. And then what we'll do is we'll actually go out and put that training into practice on search and rescue exercises and things of that nature.
I think that's wonderful. Now, how often do you meet and where? I mean, do you all meet as an adult group and a cadet group, or do you just combine those meetings all the time?
We meet every Monday evening at 7 p.m. To 9 p.m. and it's combined meeting for both cadets and senior members. We meet at the Liberty University School of Aeronautics here in Lynchburg. It's across from the airport.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a wonderful building. I mean,
Yes, we're very grateful to Liberty University for allowing us to utilize that property for our meetings.
all right, you all have, okay. Tell me again when, just in case anybody might be interested in looking into this.
Yes. It's every Monday evening, 7 p.m. at the Liberty University School of Aeronautics.
What do you have to do to qualify, or do you have to qualify, or do you just have to want to be a part of this?
Sure. It's membership driven, so it's application based. What happens is for our purposes, we ask people to come visit for 3 visits to see how we conduct our business, the uniforms that we wear, and what we do. It's also a way for us to get to know them, either cadets or senior members. So they come for 3 visits, and then they apply. So it's an application process along with dues. For seniors, there's a little extra step. We actually do a fingerprint card, and we do federal background checks. We want to keep our cadets and our organization very safe. So we do background checks for all seniors. And if everything comes through, about a week or so later, you're officially a member. For the seniors, then they're put in through level training, and we also earn rank just like the cadets do.
That's great.
It just takes a little longer. And the cadets, it's the same process without the federal background check.
Do you find that most of the cadets are interested in being in this because of the flight aspect of it, or the military aspect, or I'm sure they all are have their own reasons for wanting to be involved?
I can speak on behalf of my son. I mean, he's really excited about the fact that he gets to go on in an airplane. In fact, the cadets get 3, we call them O flights, on an aircraft, on one of the airplanes, and they can get 3 glider flights as well. So he was very excited about that. And he also likes the discipline and the uniforms, and he enjoys that as well.
That's great. I mean, I think in this day and age that it is just really so good to hear that kids want to the discipline and want to do things, and that parents are involved. I think that's great. Sure. All right, you all have brought some really cool pictures, and Phil, if you'll put the pictures up on the monitor, we'll get Chris and Daniel to tell us what they are.
Recently we conducted some mission radio operator classes, and these guys are working on their radio communications.
The handsome young man there is my son Matthew.
Oh.
And these are kind of the same, just kind of going through some of the different functions of the radio.
So it's a good hands-on thing,
Yes,
too.
very much so. This is where we were just doing promotions. This gentleman is my deputy commander of the squadron. And so we'll go through some of the promotion pictures as well. Same thing, still doing promotions. This is a change of command ceremony that we just had recently. The young man on the right presenting the flag to me is our new Squadron Cadet Commander. And so this is actually the change of command ceremony that we're having. This young lady on the left is the previous commander. She's the one that was going out of the position, and the young man on the right was coming in. A little appreciation certificate for her service to us.
The young man on the right.
Yeah, is actually my son Charles. Yeah. On the left, yeah.
On the left is Charles, and on the right,
Was.
that boy grew up across the street from us. So I was really surprised to see him fully grown and
Very nice. It's a small world when you start to see who's involved, and it's an excellent program.
Yeah.
And these two guys are brothers.
We haven't seen them, I think, in about 5 years, and there was quite a difference in the last time we saw them and when we saw them.
Yeah. And they grow up fast, especially
Yes,
at that
they do.
age range. This is the deputy commander on the right, the commander on the right and the deputy commander on the left. So he's the second in charge of our cadet programs, or cadet office, cadet staff. We always encourage the parents. This young man was actually promoting to his first officer rank in CAP, and so his parents were pinning on his insignia. And a great little side note is when they reach that first officer rank, they then have the ability to go into the military with a 2 pay grade increase if they choose to.
That's wonderful.
So a nice little benefit of CAP.
And it is an incentive.
Yeah, very much so.
This picture I'll tell you about.
Sure.
This was taken the night that we came over and told your cadets about how to win the space camp scholarship, and we really enjoyed being there. I thought it was a lot of fun.
And we really appreciate the opportunity to participate in
Yeah,
that.
we hope we can come back and involve you all again in 2015.
Yeah, that'd be great.
That'd be fantastic.
All right. That's the last picture, I think. You may have told me, and I just missed it, but how is the CAP funded?
Sure. It's funded primarily through congressional appropriation. We do also get a significant amount of the budget from membership dues. And just talk about dues quickly, they're $33 per year for a cadet, and they're $51 per year for each senior member. We also receive corporate donations and private donations as well.
Now, you said you have your 501c3. Do you all do fundraising events and that kind of thing to help
We sure do.
fund it?
We also utilize a great program called Wreaths Across America, which honors our fallen soldiers by placing wreaths on their graves. And it's a great way for us both to be able to honor our fallen soldiers as well as get some financial benefit from it. So.
That's great.
Yeah.
What kind of fundraisers do you do?
At this point in time, we usually just ask for donations in
Okay.
some way, shape, or form. We use Wreaths Across America, and then sometimes we'll do some other various sales of that nature. But mostly it's just asking for donations.
Now, you said and we saw pictures of your recent change of command. Is there anything else you would like to tell us about that ceremony, or did we already talk about?
No, that's pretty much
Okay.
it. It was just for the cadets, cadet command staff. So it was just replacing the cadet commander.
you know, you showed pictures of the radios that you got, and I understand that you received a large donation of radios for your squadron specifically. And could you tell us who donated them and how your squadron will use them?
Sure, yeah.
The radios were donated by Harris Corporation. They're a local Lynchburg-based public safety radio communication system. We received 12 portable radios. They're public safety grade, which means they're the same radios that our first responders, police, fire, EMS, that they use. The radios came with the necessary antennas and batteries and chargers and things of that nature, including the software. And it was valued at about $75,000.
Oh, that's wonderful. What a terrific donation for you.
And we're very grateful to Harris Corporation for that donation. One of the ways we're going to utilize our radios is Capt has an annual, what we call encampment, which is approximately a 10-day. Captain Mays is the commander of encampment this year, so he could tell you lots about it. But we're going to utilize those radios there, so all of the command staff have outstanding communications during that week.
Well, that's wonderful. What a wonderful donation. All right, so since you mentioned the encampment, when and where will that take place?
Sure. Encampment is actually a boot camp for cadets. We utilize Fort Pickett, which is in Blackstone, Virginia. It's a week-long event where we teach cadets how to wear their uniforms properly, how to make their bunks, how to literally live in barracks. We'll do some fun stuff like climb on armored personnel vehicles and tanks, do some rappelling on rappel towers.
Oh, that's cool.
But it is basic training for the cadets. It's where they really learn the basics of Civil Air Patrol and how to conduct themselves at all times, so that they can take it back to their home squadrons and help their squadrons grow and to do well as also.
I imagine team building is a really big part of this.
Very much so.
And doing something like the encampment has to be, you know, a big major thing in working with each other.
Yeah.
All right. Now, this is a personal question. Both of you, what impact does your involvement in this local Capt squadron have on you personally?
I think for me, the biggest impact is with my son. He, like I said, he's starting to excel in the program. He enjoys the program. Today's kids are, you know, prone to want to stay in the house and play video games and things of that nature. So it gets him some exercise. It gets him studying. It gives him goals to look forward to his next promotion. There are physical fitness tests that they have to pass. There are online exams that they have to pass. He's going to his first encampment this year,
that's
so
great.
He's very excited, and I think that's the way I've been impacted the most.
How about you, Daniel?
Well, same as Chris said, you know, this generation is really inside-driven, video game-driven. I love to see the discipline that they instill in themselves, their ability to utilize CAP to learn and grow their leadership skills, their technical skills. Civil Air Patrol offers a tremendous amount of opportunities for our cadets to learn new things and experience possible job opportunities in the future. So really what impacts me the most is to watch these young men and women grow up and even leave the program, as I've had the sadness of watching some of them go, but seeing them leave and pursue better things in life. Our goal in Lynchburg is to teach them leadership and to be well-rounded moral individuals, people that can impact our community because of what they've gained from Civil Air Patrol.
And give back to the community.
Exactly.
Well, I thank you both for being on the show. I want to ask you one more thing. If someone who's watching is interested in becoming involved, do you all have a Facebook page and a website?
We have a website. It's lynchburgcap.com. They can also find out more information at gocivilairpatrol.com. And anybody's welcome to contact me personally at amays inc, AMAYSINC @gmail.com. And the best way to find out about us is to come attend a meeting.
Okay.
We're at 939 Airport Road We meet Monday nights from 7 to 9 p.m.
Well, I think that's wonderful. And I think it's good that you extend an invitation to people to come and enjoy 3 meetings and see if they're really suited for what, for being there.
Right.
I thank you again. Looking forward to working with you both again in the spring of next year with this space camp program of ours.
Absolutely.
Well, thank you very much.
Thank you again.
Thank you for having us.
I hope you've enjoyed tonight's show. My next show will feature the sesquicentennial of the Battle of Lynchburg. Thank you for watching. Have a wonderful evening. Good night.